Some people relocating to DuPage start in what feels like the obvious place. They open the home search. They look at price, photos, they compare square footage, they check the map, then they try to figure out which town is best. But I think that might be backwards. Because when you're relocating, the question is not which DuPage town is the best. The better question is which DuPage town fits the way I actually live. And those are two very different questions. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. Not a best suburbs list, not a ranking, not tell me one town is better than the other, but a simple way to compare towns before you fall in love with the wrong home. I'm John McGleam with John Green Realtor, and I've helped buyers and sellers all throughout DuPage and the surrounding areas. Let's get into this. Relocation buyers have a different challenge. If you live here, you may already know the rhythm of each town. You may know which roads get busy, which downtown you actually use. You may know how long it really takes to get to work, to the train, to airport, or to family. When you're moving from somewhere else, every town can start to look very similar online. You have nice homes, good photos. You know of a few restaurants or a park nearby. Maybe you know where the train station is or the downtown area. But that's where people can get stuck, because a home can look right online and be very wrong for your daily life. According to the National Association of Realtors Migration Research, many clients are not just moving randomly from one type of place to another. A lot of people move from one suburb to another. And when people move from an urban or central city areas, suburban areas are often part of the conversation. So for a lot of relocation buyers, the question becomes which suburb, which town, which daily routine, which trade-offs. And in DuPage, that matters because DuPage is not one single lifestyle. DuPage County has dozens of municipalities and multiple townships. That means that moving to Naperville may have a very different daily experience than someone moving to Wheaton, Downers Grove, Glen Ellyn, Elmhurst, Lisle, Lombard, Hinsdale, Clarendon Hills, or nearly any nearby town. And that doesn't mean that one is better. It means the fit changes depending on the person. So instead of ranking towns, I would use a town fit score. So here's the idea. You score each town based on your life. And it's not based on my opinion, not some national ranking, not a list that says that this place is better than the other. We rank based on your life, your commute, your budget, your housing needs, your weekend routine, your priorities. The town that scores the highest for someone else may not score the highest for you. And that's the whole point. The first category is commute and access. I would give this 25 points because this affects your life over and over again. Not just once, not just on moving day, but every week. If you work downtown, metro access matters. If you travel often, airport access matters. If you work in the suburbs, expressways and local roads may matter more than train access. And even within DuPage, the train conversation is not the same as everywhere else. Some towns connect with the BNSF line. Others use the Union Pacific West line. Some areas are closer to the Milwaukee District West line. So we may ask, does this town have a train? The better question, though, is would this station, would this schedule, would this parking situation, and this route actually fit my life? That is a better relocation question. That's the theme of this whole video. Not to score the town, score the routine. The town may look perfect on paper, but if the commute doesn't work, if the daily errands are inconvenient, if every normal week feels harder than it should, the house may not feel as good 6 months later. That's why access comes first. The second category is housing fit. And that's where people can accidentally choose the wrong town because they only look at homes currently available. Different towns and different neighborhoods may offer different types of housing. Some areas may have older homes with character. Some may have more traditional subdivisions. Some may have townhomes or condos. Some may offer updated inventory in your price range. And some may give you more space but less walkability. Some may give you a downtown feel but less yard. Again, none of that is good or bad by itself. It depends on what you're trying to solve. If you want lower maintenance, that may push your search in one direction. If you want more space, that may push it in a different. If you want charm and walkability, that may change the search again. So before you ask, which town do I like, ask, what kind of home do I actually want to live in and maintain? The third category is monthly cost, and this is a big one because two homes can have the same list price but create very different monthly realities. One may have higher taxes or an HOA. One may need more maintenance, or one may have a longer commute. One may be older and require more near-term updates. So for relocation buyers, I would not compare towns only by home price, compare by monthly life. Especially in higher payment environment, affordability is not just the price of the home, it's the full cost of living in that home. And that's where some buyers get surprised. The home may look less expensive online, and it may feel less expensive, but not after taxes, upkeep, transportation, and improvements are all factored in. The fourth category is lifestyle fit. This is where DuPage has a lot of variety. You may care about downtown. You may care about parks and trails. You may care about restaurants, coffee shops, community events, youth activities, forest preserves, or being close to family. DuPage County has a large forest preserve with tens of thousands of acres, many preserves, many miles of trails, and that can be a huge part of daily life for some people. But for others, a bigger priority may be a walkable downtown, a shorter drive to work, a quieter neighborhood, or a low-maintenance home. The mistake is assuming that lifestyle means the same thing for everyone, because it doesn't. For one person, lifestyle may be walkability to dinner. For someone else, it may be peace and quiet. For someone else, it's easy access to O'Hare. For others, it may be nearing trails, parks, or family. That's why this should be ranked by the buyer, not ranked by the agent. Here's the simplest way to make this real. Do the weekend test. Before you decide if the town is right, spend time there like you actually live there. Drive the commute, visit the grocery store, walk the downtown, go to the park, get a coffee. That sounded like I was from New York there. Drive from the neighborhood to places you would actually use. If the train access matters, go to the station. If errands matter, drive that errand route. If the outdoor space matters, visit the trails or parks that you would actually use. Because the town doesn't only need to look good online, it needs to work on a normal Tuesday. The final category is daily routine. This is only 15 points, but it may be the category that prevents regret, because the small things become the big things after you move. So ask yourself, where do you park? How do you get to work? Where do you run your errands? How long does it take to get to the people and places that matter? What is the ownership experience actually going to feel like? Those are the questions that are not like looking at kitchens and backyards, but they are often what determines whether someone loves where they moved. And this is why I would not crown one DuPage town as a winner, because the winner changes when the priorities change. A relocation buyer who wants a train-oriented lifestyle may score two towns differently than someone else who wants more space. Someone who wants a lower maintenance townhome may score one differently than someone that wants a larger yard. Someone who travels often may think about access more differently than someone who works from home. So the goal is not to find the town that wins the list. The goal is to find a town that wins for your life. That's why I would start with fit before photos, commute and access, housing style, monthly cost, lifestyle, daily routine. Score those first. Then start narrowing down the homes. Because the right home in the wrong routine can become the wrong move. But when the town fits and the daily life works and the home makes sense, the decision becomes much clearer. So if you're relocating to DuPage County or the surrounding area, but you don't feel like you want to start with a best suburbs list, start with a better list of questions. What do you need in your town for you to live your best life? Then build your search around that. If you're moving to DuPage and you're trying to compare towns, homes, commute options, and monthly cost, I would love the opportunity to help you build your own town fit score. Not with pressure, not by telling you which town is better than the rest, but by helping you understand which options actually fit the way you live. I'm John McGleam with John Green Realtor. Thanks for watching, friends. I look forward to talking to you again soon.